What is going on, everyone? Good morning, good morning, good morning. I do want to talk to you guys about something today. We are going to do the lore stuff. Don't worry about that. Oh, my headphones are not there. I do want to talk to you guys about lore for sure. I also want to talk to you guys about the future of the stream and how we're going to do things going forward. Because I definitely feel like we should play games at some point. I love the lore. I could probably do lore all the time, but there are some games that are related to the lore, which are pretty cool. I think we can do. We can definitely do like Riot Forge games. Honestly, League of Legends is rough for me, guys. Did you do the presentation of the regions? I mean, that sounds cool. We can definitely do that. I'm gonna go through like the lore days. Like I think we're gonna do a Monday, Tuesday lore day, right? And then, or not Monday, Tuesday. We'll do Monday, Thursday lore day, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday will be like a game day. I do like the idea of presenting the different regions, though. That's definitely something that we can do. Why is Chrome not coming up here? Where's my Chrome source? Browser. Window capture. There it is. I don't know why this thing is not working. I don't have to set up another one, but what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I don't want to have to set up another one, but freaking the original one's not working for some reason. It's not finding the source. It's showing like Chrome apps. Oh, there we go. Okay, now it is. So now I can get rid of this one. That's good. Delete that. Very nice. Yeah, we'll definitely do a presentation of the regions. I like that idea. Today, I do want to, we have to go through this cinematic for sure. We're going to go through this cinematic. We're going to go to the top 10 champions by lore. Get rid of this. Okay. Man, the art style on the back of these, like look at this one with Bard. You got Vel'Koz up there. That one's cool. Okay, let's start with, who do we want for this cinematic? I don't think LeBlanc is in, is she in here? I don't think she is. You can pull up Vladimir. Where you at, Vlad? There we go. Okay. All right. Time to do a deep dive. Now, what I did was I set these up for us, pre-set up now. That's why I think we're going to split up the lore streams into 2 streams. By the way, who did your intro? It was cool to see. Riot Games. That is the Riot Games map intro. I don't know why a lot of people ask me that, and I'm like, not that, like, because I put it on the end of my videos too, not stream, right? The stream is small right now, but that's way too loud. A lot of people ask that on the YouTube videos, because I do use it as the outro on my YouTube videos as well. And it's actually from Riot Games. I can pull it up here. Look at this. You go to YouTube, you type in Map of Runeterra, and it's going to come up. Map of Runeterra. No, well, those are my videos. Runeterra awaits interactive map League of Legends. Where's the copy link? Copy link address. I don't think I can send it in here. Can I to multi-stream? Will it go out to like every single stream, or it just went to Twitch? There you go. Oh, it is going to every single stream. Well, that's kind of cool. I saw it go to YouTube too. Yeah. This is it. Okay, so let's do this. Deep Lore Dive, Trials of Twilight. So I preset these up for us. So now it's not going to be like me jumping all over the place trying to figure out where to go next or what to show you guys next. It's just going to be all there, right, in one place. So you can see I organized it. The Black Rose rises. Why is this getting stuck? Can you not even see what I was showing you? Oh, is it showing the other one? It needs to be this one. I think I didn't show you. There it is. That's what I was showing you. Runeterra awaits, map of Runeterra. Let me close that out so I don't get confused. Okay, so I pre-built these out, right? So now we can see, these are the topics for today. I didn't get to True Ice versus Dark Ice, which is why I was saying that maybe we should do lore stream Monday, lore stream Thursday, and we'll talk about this more at the end of the stream. And then we'll play like a game. I mean, I could try League of Legends, guys. I honestly really suck at League of Legends. I played it like twice. I think I played more Wild Rift than I have League of Legends. But if that's what you guys want me to play, I'll freaking play it. There's League of Legends. There's all the Riot Forge titles that we can go through. There is Wild Rift, I guess. I keep trying to play Legends of Runeterra, but it's something to, like, if I pull up Legends of Runeterra right now, you guys will see. If I pull up Legends of Runeterra, it might show for a little bit, and then the screen's going to go black. They've got like a Netflix thing going on where, you know how Netflix, if you try to screen capture or screen record, the screen turns black? That's exactly what happens with Legends of Runeterra. I can play for like a little bit. Oh, see, it already did it. I can still see Legends of Runeterra, but the screen is black for me. Really annoying. That's probably the game I play the most too, out of all of Riot game stuff. So... but those are the options. So we'll definitely do a poll of what you guys want me to play. I can go through we can go through every single Riot Forge title, and we'll talk about the lore as we go through. That could be really cool. I think that's more in line with us in the stream. Or you can guys watch me suck at League of Legends, if that's what you prefer. Okay, lore deep dive, Trials of Twilight. So this new cinematic teaser opened. Let me play a little bit of it. I need to pause this. So this is the Trials of Twilight cinematic, the Act 1 launch trailer. It just came out yesterday. Let's play a little bit of it.
The blossoms fall, and the black rose rises.
Can you guys hear that okay? I feel like it's too quiet. Let me rewind it. So I'll play it through one time, and I'll just talk through what I see. But I'm not gonna like pause it too much the first time, and then we're gonna go back and we're gonna talk through pretty much every little thing. Let's do that. All right. That might be a little too loud.
The blossoms fall, and the black rose rises. Do you feel like the heroes of this story, coming to save the day? You're pawns in a game that's already been decided.
So you can see.
Fight as good soldiers do.
Good soldiers do, that's really important.
I will seal you away once more.
I think these voice lines were chosen with intention, by the way. I think these voice lines...
Past darkened. Stay buried.
Your age is cast dark and stay buried. These are intentional voice lines. I think they were chosen.
You will fail, as mortals must.
As I said, with like Big Garen and the Jarvan there, I thought they would probably be skins, which they are.
Your course was doomed the moment you left Demacia.
Xin Zhao leaving Demacia for Ionia with the Spirit Blossom.
Behold my power!
And entered my world of thorns.
I'm going to talk about that World of Thorns line too.
Make your final stand. And see how your story ends.
Look how they're going against Atakan, Nara, and Xin Zhao. And then we finish it off with freaking void-themed Lysandra. And I'll explain how that really ties in to a lot of the stuff that we're seeing. So the cinematic teaser opens up. Initially, you get like this, you get the spirit blossoms, the pink spirit blossoms, you see Ionia, and then it starts to turn red. All the spirit blossoms start to turn red. And it quickly like corrupts into a blood red hue, and then it shifts into this darker version of an Ionian spirit realm, which like really presents, you know, this grim tone of what's about to happen. Why is it so off center? Okay. The orchestrator of this corruption is LeBlanc. She makes her presence known with an ominous declaration and a chilling taunt aimed directly at Xin Zhao and Yunara. And she says, "The blossoms fall and the black rose rises." Do you feel like the heroes of this story? Do you feel like the heroes of this story coming to save the day? You're pawns in a game that has already been decided. So basically, she's saying that your efforts don't even matter anymore. Like if she was a part of Xin Zhao being sent to Ionia and had something to do with that spirit blossom blooming, I mean, she could have something to do with the thinning of the veil, then yeah, she's been playing this game for a long time, longer than Yunara or Xin Zhao have even realized that they were playing. She says it right here.
A black rose rises. Do you feel like the heroes of this story?
Do you feel like the heroes of the story?
Coming to save the day. You're pawns in a game that's already been decided.
You're pawns in a game that's already been decided. Like, it just sets the stage that this game is already over. LeBlanc already won. Why don't you fight and see what happens? So the heroes prepare for battle. The dialogue hints at the true nature of the threat. Yunara speaks of sealing a familiar foe, while Xin Zhao speaks of a long ago past, which is the Darken. So Yunara says, "I will seal you away once more." And Xin Zhao says, "Your age is past, Darken. Stay buried." I think Yunara's line is directly referencing to that darkened glaive that she really went to the shrine, like that Shrine Maiden story, the cinematic, which she went with him to the spirit realm, seals him away in that glaive, and then puts it in that tree, right, that we see future. So let me show all that. First, Xin Zhao's line, he's definitely just saying, "Your age is past, Darken. Stay buried," because let's play that.
You will fight as good soldiers do.
Yeah.
I will seal you away once more.
I will seal you away once more. The only Darken that she ever sealed is the one that we're going to talk about right now, which is in her Shrine Maiden cinematic.
Your age has passed, Darken. Stay buried.
Yeah, your age is past, Darken. Stay buried. The Darken War was a long time ago. We're talking about in the Void War of Acathia, to the point where, let me pull up the map of Runeterra. People don't even remember that Acathia existed. Like, if you go to Shurima right now, if you were just in this world and you were like, boop, 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 let me say hi to all the Shuriman people, and you were like, hey, so how about that void in Acathia? They would not know what you're talking about, because Shurima literally erased this whole continent, whole piece of land across the, off the map. It doesn't exist anymore. The map of Shurima stops here, and this just shows us water. And then enough generations have passed, we're talking generational lifetimes, that people don't even remember that Acathia existed. It's off the map. Maybe, I mean, sure, there's some people do, like Kaisa, who's literally a void hunter. Sure, she knows. Talia knows, but in terms of like the general population, no, people don't know that Acathia even exists, which is how Shurima wants it, because the void is kind of halted there. And should the void ever like get any stimulation, if a person were to walk in, they could stimulate the void back to life and then destroy the world. So yeah, they probably don't want that to happen. What up, David? We're doing a lore deep dive of the Trials of Twilight. So yeah, Acathia doesn't exist anymore. That's why Xin Zhao saying your age is past, Darken, stay buried, because their age was a long time ago. But Yunara's line is more specific. She says, "I will seal you away once more." Then watch this.
I have deceived you, my friend. In truth, I am no different from those we fought. I had hoped when this was done, I could overcome my nature. Alas, If your enemies are mine, then I am an enemy of all, and must leave this realm.
No.
The Shrine Maiden refused to abandon the Great Spirit,
Refused to abandon him and joins him in
instead
exile.
choosing to join him in exile.
And then they're in the spirit realm.
Contemplating the cost of her devotion.
That's the tree. Okay, I wanted to pause it here. She seals him away in the darkened glaive, and she places him within this tree. And if you look on the left, that's the temple that I believe gets teleported into the material realm in Ionia. I don't think that we're actually in the temple, unless there's two options here. One, this tree to the right, he's inside of that tree right now. She sealed him in the glaive, planted him in the tree, and that's the tree that we see in a future cinematic. Two, there's like this temple-looking rock on the other side rock, and she placed the glaive in another tree there, which I think is also possible. Like this is her home on this right rock, and then the temple is over there, and that's the temple that gets pulled into the material realm. I'll show you guys that too. There is one thing I want to ask you, but be interested in some custom graphics for your channel, like a logo, banner, overlays, screen intro, outro, thumbnails. I really like my logo. I'm definitely interested, but I'm also broke. Like I got no money. So that's one thing. If you're looking for like comp, I don't got that. But yeah, this is definitely like, I do think that that this left one, maybe it's so like artistically drawn, right? It's kind of like sketched out. But I think on the left rock, you can see the temple that transports in, and the right rock, maybe that's a home. And there's another tree in there that has the darkened glaive.
Forevermore.
Because she was there and she guarded the temple, right? That contained the darkened glaive, protected it from demons in a lot of cases. And a demon looks like it gets it in the end. So Xin Zhao's defiance, again, speaks to that historical context of the Darken. After the devastating war, the Ascended were imprisoned within their weapon by mortal magic. Well, celestial magic. I need to correct that. Weapons by, well, it was just Zoe teaching them how to imprison the weapons. So, well, he is correct that their era, she did teach them how to imprison them, so I guess it's not incorrect. While he is correct that their era of dominance is over, the threat of a single Darken finding a host remains potent. We see that all the time with characters like Aatrox. Someone will pick up their weapon and they basically go across the world rampaging. Nefiri, just picked up by a random pack of dogs, causing all kinds of problems. So their era is over, but they're not really done. This very scenario was foreshadowing on Xin Zhao's nightmare vision from beginning of the end, where the demon Atakan is seen wielding the very same darkened glaive that we saw last time. You guys should remember this by now. This is you're in that throne room, and you can see that's Atakan's hand grabbing the glaive. And you see Atakan literally appear behind both of these Darken. There he is behind the throne. You can see Atakan. And then this tree right here, we see it inside of like this temple, and you can see the darkened glaive within it. I think that there is 2 spirit realm trees. So there's this one that's by Yunara's hut. That's where she lives. And then there's this one on the left side, which is, that's his home kind of thing. And that's where, let me make this a little bit bigger. That's where she was holding the darkened glaive. That's where she was holding him. And that's what gets teleported into the material realm a little bit later. So I'll leave those paused there. That's good. And you can see the darkened glaive there. And look at the pool of ooze is almost signifying Aatrox getting closer and closer and closer. And at this point, it's like literally touching it. And then Aatrox does get, or not, why am I saying Aatrox? Atakan getting closer and closer and closer to the darkened glaive. And then he does eventually get it. At least in that future scenario. So, a whisper in Demacia, LeBlanc's grand deception. LeBlanc's confidence is absolute, and her dialogue reveals that the hero's journey to Ionia was not a choice, but a carefully engineered step in her plan. Everything seems like it was predetermined. She says, and you will fail, as all mortals must. Your course was doomed the moment you left Demacia. She says that right here.
And you will fail. course was doomed the moment you left Demacia.
Their course was doomed the moment you left Demacia. That implies that Xin Zhao leaving Demacia was a part of LeBlanc's plan. Like that's why it makes me think that that anomaly, that catalyst, which really was the spirit blossom that appeared in Demacia, the thing that pushed Xin Zhao to travel toward Ionia, setting this entire thing in motion, was a part of LeBlanc's plan. The only way that could be a part of LeBlanc's plan is if she had something to do with the thinning of the veil. Either that or she literally picked up a spirit blossom, took it to Demacia, and planted it for Xin Zhao to find. Both possibilities. But yeah, the spirit blossom that appeared in Demacia that pushed Xin Zhao to come to Ionia LeBlanc had something to do with it. The thinning of the veil between realms, which allowed the blossoms to appear, also seems to have caused Yunara's temple and the darkened glaive within it to be pulled from the spirit realm into the material realm, making it vulnerable. So, I think here it is.
Much further. In fact, this little tree has brought me halfway across the world. It grew in the palace gardens of the great city of Demacia.
That's impossible. Spirit blossoms do not fall beyond the first lands.
You silly person.
And yet, there it is. As we sailed east, I heard many strange things. Whispers that magic is rising everywhere. What if
The arcane is waking up? Just saying. If we remember that from Arcane, LeBlanc says the arcane is waking up. Well, magic is rising everywhere. And keep in mind, all of these events that we're seeing now happen after Arcane. Black Rose be scheming. Question is, how will their plan fall apart this time? And what were the consequences? Hey, fair enough. If that is unless their plan falling apart is a part of their plan. And they planned for that plan to not plan out. You got to keep, that's a possibility.
the blossoms are a sign of something more?
A change.
Careful, traveler.
Yeah.
Saying things like that could get you in a lot of trouble.
Guys, I really think Kennan's a problem. I really think Kennan is a freaking problem. The fact that all he said was, it could mean the change in something more, like something more is happening. Yeah, the veil is literally thinning across Runeterra. And yet this guy is like, careful, traveler. Don't talk like he freaking sounds like the mob.
Indeed. And I am most curious to know why you have brought a weapon into this holy festival.
He's just way too, like pacifist. To the point where it's actually detrimental to everything. Now, what's good about Xin Zhao coming here? Right after, at the end of this cinematic, he does plant the Spirit Blossom. Now, here's my theory. I think that this Spirit Blossom that he brings here
Things should return home.
Plans within plans, yep.
Wherever that may be.
Okay. I think that this Spirit Blossom, maybe it wasn't a good idea to plant it in Ionia. But so here's what I'm thinking. At the beginning of this cinematic, before we get to this point, 101, okay. Before we get here, we see Spirit Blossoms. They're pink. They turn red.
The blossoms
and it
fall.
changes.
The blossoms fall, and the black rose rises.
So she's saying, like, at the end of the Spirit Blossom Festival, when the blossoms fall, the black rose will rise. I don't think the Spirit Blossoms, at least not all of them, are as they appear to be, like, in what we're seeing.
The blossoms.
This one turns red. I have a feeling that maybe Xin Zhao planting this Spirit Blossom in Ionia was not a good idea. And maybe she couldn't. I feel like LeBlanc could probably get anyone to do anything, but then, they just kind of decide whatever they want. Like that random guy that happened to be a potential vessel for a Darkin that was killed by Katarina because she was paid off by Vladimir. Like, that didn't make much sense to me because Katarina is kind of loyal to General Swain. And like, so she just works for Vladimir now, and she doesn't even like the Black Rose. It doesn't make too much sense to me. But like this, I would think that LeBlanc can get anyone into Ionia to plant a spirit blossom, especially one that's potentially corrupted that leads to some bad things happening, is what I'm going to say. But yeah, so is that so? I guess maybe it is more difficult, right, to get it into the right place. Maybe that's why was our goal with Xin Zhao, to get it into the right place to be planted. I think that this spirit blossom that he plants has more to do with than what we're led to believe, because not too long after he plants it, the thinning of the veil between realms, which allowed the blossoms to appear, has also seemed to have caused Yunara's temple and the dark enclave within it to be pulled from the spirit realm into the material world, making it vulnerable. There has to be a reason, because she says you were doomed the moment you left Demacia. There has to be a reason Xin Zhao going to Ionia benefited LeBlanc. Perhaps he was the only one that could get to this spot to plant this spirit blossom, which actually would have looked like this in the spirit realm. But then we get this. And I wonder, you guys see that hill? This hill right here, before the temple appears. I wonder if that's the same hill. We don't get a zoomed out view enough to see like this arch on top. But what if that's the same hill, and then he planted the spirit blossom, and that's what pulls Yunara's temple from the spirit realm, making the darkened weapon vulnerable? And I don't think Yunara was even part of the plan. She just happened to be at the temple at the time when it was pulled into the material realm. She probably just wanted to leave Yunara in the spirit realm. Morning, just got up. Got to get the kids breakfast. I'll have to catch the VOD. Yo, what up, Dre? Get the kids the breakfast. I'm sure I'll be in that boat soon once my girl gets a little bit older. Watch that blossom be corrupted by some black rosary, and become a spy conduit. I like that. Black rosary. That's what I'm saying. I think that might be this mound right here that you're seeing may be the exact same place that this temple appears. Wait, when I made it bigger, am I tripping? Yeah, okay, no, I wasn't. I was like, what? Yeah, so this spot right here, this hill that he's standing on, you can see a little bit of the mound to the right. So there's definitely something that's going above him. I think it's the same spot that pulls in Yunara's temple. The moment he left, and maybe this could have been anywhere. He just happened to choose that spot. But yeah, it pulls in the temple. Temple. Oop. Boom. And there it is. And that's the biggest problem that we could ever have. You can see Yunara snap up there. She runs down. She saves Xin Zhao from this Azakana, that demon guy. And he's like, hello? And it looks like they have more people to fight. And that's where that event comes into play. But yeah. So LeBlanc's plan to acquire the glaive began a long time ago after the events of a demon's hand. Atakan revealed the weapon's location to her when Vladimir noted an invasion of Ionia was impossible. LeBlanc's response was telling. She says, a single whisper can cut deeper than 1,000 blades. That single whisper was not a word, in my opinion, but an action. The planting of a single spirit blossom in Demacia, one that was corrupted and that would basically pull Yunara's temple into the material realm. This one move manipulated Xin Zhao, drew out the temple, and lured her targets into what she calls her world of thorns, a web of illusion and deceit. And you can see her doing that single whisper here.
Losing our host was an unfortunate turn. As for the might of Noxus, it won't be necessary. A single whisper can cut deeper than 1,000 blades.
I think she's just referencing that like a single action, like a small action can cut deeper than 1,000 blades. In this case, it was a whisper. But in her case, even prior, like right when this happened, she was already like, okay, I'm going to plant this spirit blossom in Demacia, and I'll lure this guy Sinjao to Ionia to plant it, and then we'll be able to pull in. Yeah, and you're right. Like the stairs don't lead anywhere, right? Here. And then here, the stairs don't lead anywhere. You can see, if you really look closely, there's like those stairs leading up to it. I think it was the same spot, guys. And even at the end of, there's another cinematic where Sinjao gets that black leaf. I think I put it in here. I didn't put it in here. What was it called? Let me see. I think it's the same spot as this too. Let's go to League of Legends. Hold on. Remember where he's like at the top of it? It's a music one. It's the one with like this one, Spirit Blossoms. I think I included it, but I included it earlier. Yeah. Right here. I think this is the same spot as well. You can see Yunara, that's at her house maybe. But look at this. Travels through the spirit realm. And then somehow, like, something drew him there, and then all of a sudden he's like, well, this is a great spot to plant this spirit blossom. So yeah, that's how I think this happens. The final stand, a new champion. As the teaser concludes, LeBlanc issues a final condescending challenge to the heroes, confident in their demise. Make your final stand and see how your story ends. So we're definitely nearing the end of this. All signs point to the climax of the storyline where LeBlanc's intricate plan comes to fruition. It seems likely that she will succeed to obtain the Darkened Glaive, judging by Sinjao's dream, unleashing the ancient being trapped inside. Also, you've teased us for too long, Riot. You have to release this Darken at this point. Like, we need to see him and maybe even become a champion. This act will conclude the current narrative arc, but also likely introduce a new Darken champion to the League of Legends roster, a powerful warrior freed after millennia of imprisonment, ready to bring their Age of Darkness back to Runeterra. So why do I think that this guy, this Darken, is now corrupted when he was pretty friendly with Yunara in the Shrine Maiden cinematic? Well, he's also been trapped in a glaive for hundreds of years at this point, perhaps even 1,000 years. So, yeah, I think he's maybe a little different at this point. He's probably been slowly corrupted by the Void that he fought during the Void War, because he did say that he was a Darken. He just hadn't gone, I think he wasn't as far along in his corruption as some of the others, but at this point he's been trapped in a glaive, being corrupted by the Void. Maybe Yunara will be able to bring him back to his sanity, but I'm not so sure. I think she's going to end up trying to seal him away once more. Unless it was connected and led to the temple. Yeah, maybe. I mean, the spirit realm is just a reflection of the material realm. That's the truth. So you see these rock formations here floating in the air. If you look in the spirit and the material realm, it probably does have like something leading to each of these, but then they're missing. Like you can see that rock formation literally fits perfectly into this slot. The spirit realm is a reflection of the material realm. In this case, it's like the other piece from the material realm. It's like this part is in the spirit realm, and Yunara's literal temple was transported to. Actually, no, Yunara, she just went to the spirit. I don't think it was like a temple that was transported there. But it was, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it was a temple that was here that was transported to the spirit realm, which would make sense if you think like logically, like in the real world, like this rock formation wouldn't occur naturally. So maybe like the temple did exist, and then they transported her and the Darken to the spirit realm with the temple. Okay, and then the last part. So this cinematic further hints that they come to appear at the end of the Trials of Twilight cinematic. The vision shows Yunara and Sinjao confronting the demon Atakan directly, a future battle that may soon come to pass as they fight to prevent him from claiming the Darkened Glaive. You can see right here, they're getting ready to fight Atakan. And then this. Okay, this is obviously Void. If you go to Kaisa, the Belveth cinematic. If you go here, this Belveth cinematic, you can see like some of these butterflies. Yeah, look at that. Those ones get eaten, so those aren't the same butterflies. But definitely butterflies nonetheless. The void loves its butterflies. But yeah, so that's definitely a void cut Lysandra. And Lysandra does have some connections to the void. She is the one that allowed the Watchers to enter our realm. She made a deal with them for power. And yeah, she realized that she kind of messed up, and so she froze them in true ice, sacrificing everything, her sisters, all the Yetis, to freeze them in true ice at the bottom of the Howling Abyss. And yeah, so she's definitely got some ties to the void. And now it looks like we got a skin of void-themed Lysandra, which is awesome. The void butterflies, yes, they do. Yes, they do. So hopefully, that's my theory. I don't know if it's true or not. I feel like it's probably true. Most nights it goes with a glimpse of Lysandra, seemingly void-themed skin. This is a critical piece of lore as the Darken's tragic history is extrudably linked to the void. That's right. I thought of that while I was writing this, that the Darken are also linked to the void because of the void war with Acathia. Yo, thanks for the follow, latest. So they're also linked to the void and Acathia. So that's interesting that Lysandra's void-themed skinned. And that, it seems like that's the next level up, right? You have Lysandra, you have the Darken, and then eventually the void. Hey, homie, I can share your stream in the Kick community to help you have followers and viewers and also earn from stream. Let's chat. Maybe make a Discord. I mean, I don't got any money, so if that's what it is, but if it's like a community just to help people grow, I mean, I'm open to it, but I'm also broke. So there is that. Thank you, though. And there were once noble Shuriman ascended who became twisted and corrupted by the horrors they faced fighting the void during the... so I'm talking about the dark in there. So the final vision suggests that the current conflict may be part of even larger narrative, connecting the rise of a new Darken to the ever-looming threat of the void itself. The Darken are literally just pre-void things. Like they were corrupted by the void. Everything ties back to the void. So if you're talking Darken, you're talking void, and you don't even realize it. But yeah, there's the article. This is, you can find these at riotgrove.com. If you go to endgrove on riotgrove.com, you'll be able to see all these articles. Because I'm going to post them, and then you guys can go through them at your own time. You can read them, or we can just go through them. We're going to go through them on stream anyways. And that's why I'm saying that we're going to do lore streams Monday and Thursday now, because I want the quality to go up. I want them to be like easier for people to follow. I feel like I spent a lot of time searching around and trying to find things, versus with this, I can kind of, look, I even had the cinematics with the pre-times, right? Like the times were set up perfectly where I don't have to click through anything. And I feel like it just went much smoother. So that's what we're going to be doing from now on. It'll just be a lore library on the Riot Grove site, which if you guys haven't seen, we got news. We've got pretty much news for every single game. You can see patch notes, when patches are going live, when patches are coming up. You can see the beta. I'm working on a lot of this other stuff. We're going to have tournaments as soon as I get access to the Riot API for every single game. The database is very close to being complete. Models is also very close to being complete. You'll be able to look at all the Riot Games models. So it's a cool site, riotgrove.com. So let's go through this. Not sponsored, by the way. It's literally my site. I created it. So top 10 lore power. I guess I am sponsored. I'm sponsoring myself. Here we go. Power rankings. It's time to go through Runeterra's power rankings, the top 10 most powerful beings in Runeterra. It's kind of spoiled by there, so we're just going to skip it. By the navigation tool. Okay, Viego. Viego goes at number 10, guys. Let's put some Viego music on. I do like Viego's theme. A lot of people are going to be like, what? Viego at 10? Yes. Viego is at 10. Rune King theme. There we go. Do I want the one from... Actually, we might do this one. I like this one. Noise. So quiet. Viego's theme is awesome. I love the sound of like a little music box. Oh, we got to pull up Viego. Viego's in here. Pretty much all of these champions are going to be here because they're just powerful. All right, Viego's power is a cataclysm born from a millennium of unresolved grief and obsessive rage. He is not merely a wielder of magic, but the source of a sentient magical plague, the Black Mist, which blighted an entire continent and now threatens the world. His power is absolute, driven by a singular, unwavering focus that knows no bounds. As he himself states, no price is too great, no atrocity beyond my reach. For her, I will do anything. And if we go to Demacia First to Fall, we can see started the beginning of the ruination. You can see Demacia here, looking beautiful, looking white, looking crisp, looking shiny, looking petricite-y. I love this cinematic. So peaceful, so nice. There's the Hall of Valor. And then we see it start, and the ruination is beginning. Demacia is one of the first places to fall in the ruination. And there's the Black Mist swirling in, which is probably why the Sentinels of Light gather in Demacia. Look how this is coming down and it's slowly, like, look how it's corrupting the stone. So awesome. Man, it's so cool. The music. Music, like, it's twisted. First to fall. Diego's lab. How awesome is that cinematic? But yeah, Diego. Then in the novel too, Ruination, which is a book that I don't know if you guys have read, but it's a great book. Ruination, if you haven't read it, make sure you give it a read. Reveals that even as immortal king of Camivore, Viego possessed a powerful, uncontrolled soul magic tied to his obsessive emotion. That's because, as immortal king, he obtained the weapon, right? Soul Render. When his wife, Isolde, died, he led his formidable army to the Blessed Isles, demanding the impossible, which he was demanding that they, I think we can see a little bit of that, can't we? In the Callista event. Hold on. Notice how this one isn't as like set up as mine, because the first one, because I just ran out of time yesterday. I had to build this whole section out. Where's the Callista's Odyssey event? Callista's Odyssey, voiced one. I think could be this one.
Hello and welcome to the Grove.
Yeah. So he goes to Camivore or to the Blessed Isles, which, keep in mind, Camivore is somewhere all the way over here. And I think there's a map of Camivore. We can look at that. Map of Camivore. Look at this. You can see literally Camivore all the way over here on the right side. It says Camivore, like top right. And then you could see the Serpent Isles, which is that's where Bilgewater is. You can see Shurima, Acathia existed. That's Ishtal with all the lines going in. These are trade routes. And you can see there's a bit of a gap in the middle. That bit of a gap where it says Eternal Ocean, that is where the Blessed Isles are. It's surrounded by a mist. That's why they kept avoiding it. And they eventually find the Blessed Isles, and then Viego takes his wife, who's now dead, Isolde, to the Blessed Isles, to the Blessed Waters, hoping that will cure her, because he doesn't think that she's dead yet, but she is. He ends up forcing them to do the ritual, despite them saying that it's a bad idea. And you can see that they're like saying, they go, they see her. Yeah. So he is initially going home, and then Thresh. This guy ends up becoming Thresh. He's the warden prefect of Thresholds, and a Thresher, warden prefect of Thresholds. He's a Thresher, basically. And Viego's literally about to go home at this point when Thresh tells him that they're lying and the blessed waters. It lies in the wells of ages, and it can bring your wife back. And so he loses his mind, pushes through, carrying Isolde, telling everyone to get out of his way. The power of the well of ages is not to be trifled with. We cannot let you pass. You have no notion of the consequences you're attempting. And Viego basically just says, kill them all. To which Callista, this is where Callista turns on Viego and tries to stop him. Viego then summons the Iron Order. And they come in, which includes Hecarim, and basically start killing everyone. And while that's happening, you can see the Iron Order comes in. That's why Hecarim looks like he's on a horse. Hello, hey the Dweller. That's why Hecarim looks like he's on a horse. They start fighting, and while they're fighting, while all this is happening, that's the final cinematic. While all this is happening, we can actually continue that story in the Ruined King intro cinematic. So Callista's fighting with the Iron Order. Yeah. Callista is fighting with the Iron Order now that Viego summoned to the Blessed Isles. And while that's happening, Viego himself makes it to the Blessed Waters, which is this tower here on the left. Puts her into the Blessed Waters to resurrect her. So sad. Putting her into the Blessed Waters is not smart because she is dead, and the Blessed Waters can heal any ailment, but it should not cure death. And this is what leads to the Shadow Isles, the Ruination, and Viego moving from the King of Camivor to the Ruined King. You can see she stabs him through with Soul Render, a weapon from the spirit realm that literally rends a soul. And so his soul is being rendered at the same time the Blessed Water is trying to heal him, and the clash between those two things causes the undeath that we now see all throughout the Shadow Isles. And then you could see this same event happen here, but from the perspective of Callista. And you can see Hecarim comes up. His laugh is so good there. They're literally dying at the same time before Callista can die. Boom, she becomes the Callista that we see in game today, because at the same time we saw what was happening with Viego. So yeah, so they force them into, he forces the ritual to happen. The resulting explosion of magic is not just a random accident, it was a violent birth of the Black Mist from Viego's own unleashed soul. The novel describes the apocalyptic moment explicitly. It was the king's spirit unleashed. It was his rage, his pain, his obsessive, possessive love given form. It was the Black Mist, a physical manifestation of his grief and his rage. And it poured from him, a torrent of soul, blasting necrotic magic. And that's from the novel of Ruination. What is that laugh? I freaking love the laugh. There's so much. I don't understand that. I kept getting hearing people hating on the laugh. The laugh is freaking great. Look at this laugh. I think the laugh is awesome. Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. It's a great laugh. I never understood that. Why everyone hated on the laugh so much. I'm gonna make it into you guys can... Yeah, I think it's a great. You know what I'm gonna do? You know how you get like channel points when you're watching? I think it's only on Twitch. Like the more you watch, you get like these coins or whatever. You'll be able to spend those to make this laugh run on stream whenever you want. I'm gonna do that because it's a great laugh and the world needs to know it. This is like the trailer for the Ruination book. I love this trailer.
Camivore, an empire of conquest, of kings who rule absolute. Callista, Spear of the Argent Throne, forswore the life of a princess and vowed to guard her uncle, King Viego, from any who would do him harm.
She don't do a good job.
She thought she succeeded. She could not protect his heart, his world.
And then you can see that's the Blessed
Now
Isles. That's when they make the
searches
Blessed
for a
Isles.
cure.
The first
In
time.
places of myth and legend.
Callista finds it.
She is not prepared for the darkness she'll bind.
That's Thresh. Thresh was evil before he became Thresh. He's still pretty evil now. That hasn't really changed. But yeah. This connection means his power is as limitless as his grief. Viego can casually overwhelm entire cities, not through brute force, but with effortless command over his own cataclysmic nature. When assaulting a city to retrieve one of Isolde's artifacts, he demonstrated his absolute control. Stop, says Viego, raising a single hand once more. The mist, the race, the horrors, the fighting, everything seems to freeze on the Rune King's command. That's from the color story She, showing that, like, he has complete control. It's not like this chaotic thing that he's not able to manipulate or wield. Like, the Black Mist is him. Here for the lore. What up, Sam? Sam, what's going on? My brother from the same... Bro, you raided me again? What's going on, Sam? What's up? What's up? Hey, everyone. Yeah, we're going through the top 10 champions according to the lore. A lot of people might be surprised. Viego's number 10. What's going on, everyone? But yeah, so the Black Mist, literally Viego has complete control over it. So in that moment, Cage Assault halts instantly as his whim. He then slays the city's vendor, raises them as undead servants, and vanishes. Recent events have shown this power unleashed on a global scale, and his potential for destruction remains boundless, fueled by an obsession that will never fade. He says in his biography, legions will fall before him, only to rise again in his service. Continents will be swallowed by living darkness, and the world will pay for every moment of happiness it stole from an ancient ruler laid low by an all-consuming love. And you can see that. This is how Viego's freaking ruination looks, like
We
Black
don't run
Mist.
from darkness.
We light the way.
Those are Sentinels of Light. They are really the main thing that stands against Viego in Runeterra. Those weapons have no triggers. So what is it like having a French-Canadian adopted brother?
You don't belong here.
I have
There's Viego. You know, guys, I never minded that he was French-Canadian or adopted. I always felt like he was just my brother. Like, we grew up together from the beginning. So it's not like, you know, when you're like that, it's like when you're so young and it happens, it's like, hey, it's normal. So when he first came, he only spoke French, which was weird. I remember that. We could barely talk. Is there any balding characters? Rise. Rise is very bald. Look at that. We're actually going to talk about Rise. He's in the top 10 list. Or beavers in this game. There are beavers. There's actually a if you look up here, Rune King, the book trailer, you can see a little bit of a beaver character. The Vastaya beaver. Where is it? Oh, I think it's in here anyways. Yeah. You can see them right there. That's actually a Vastayan beaver. So very, very astute of you. But yeah, this is Viego.
Through death and ruination,
Get back to her.
He's trying to resurrect his soul.
Return, my queen.
You will destroy this world.
It's true. It's true. I don't think he cares.
She is my world.
That's the remnant of a soul. There's remnants of her everywhere, and he's trying to collect them all. Random question. How old is Rise, and is he just a human? Rise starts out as a human. He's not I mean, he's still technically a human, but he's lived a long life, well beyond an average human's lifespan. That's Poppy Yordle. This is a Noxus. You can see the Ruination kind of affects everywhere, all over Runeterra. So there's the Shadow Isles where Viego's from. The Ruination happens all over Runeterra. So yeah, he's our number 10 slot. So he's the weakest on the list. At number 9 isn't Rise in terms of the most powerful champion in Runeterra. Let's change up the theme. I don't think Skarner is in Wild Rift. I don't think he is. I really doubt it. He's like a new model and everything. Yeah. No, he's not in Wild Rift. We can pull up another Ishtal champion. I'll show you guys where Ishtal is, where Skarner is from. Is there an Ishtal champion? Even one in Wild Rift? Maybe not. Maybe not. Okay, well, we'll pull up Bard. This is, what you're listening to now is Skarner's theme. Freaking wild. Yeah. Lower it a little bit, though, because it's an intense one. Most powerful champions, that's Teemo. Yeah, a lot of people would say that. Random question, how old? He's very old. What's this list? This is the list of the top 10 most powerful champions in Runeterra. So that's the... You guys know the Riot MMO? I don't know if you guys still remember that that's even a thing. The Riot MMO is going to be based on this world, the world of Runeterra. And we're going through the top 10 champions, most powerful beings in Runeterra according to the lore. And number 10 was Viego. Teemo's shrooms are exactly like nukes. This is known. Man, Teemo is definitely the most powerful champion in League of Legends. Just because of how much he pisses everyone off. And if you can get under someone's skin in League of Legends, you really have a good shot of winning. It's his playstyle. That's what makes Teemo so annoying. His playstyle is literally to be annoying. To like drop little pieces of shit on the floor and people will run over them and you just run away. The Teemo is the most... I haven't played a lot of League of Legends, but even I get annoyed against a good Teemo. It's the way that they designed him is to be freaking annoying. That's why people freaking hate him so much. So Skarner, the Primordial Sovereign. Following his rework, Skarner's power is established as foundational, making him a literal political pillar of Ishtal. So this is Skarner. This is how he looks. You can see he's freaking massive. Let me pull up his splash art, make it bigger. Yeah. This is Skarner. You can see he's a massive, massive scorpion thing. Like he's the size of the city behind him. Yeah. And he's from Ishtal, which is over here. He actually lives underground in Ishtal. And that's the Ishtal Khan, which is the hub city of Ishtal, which you can see in the background of his splash art. Right there on the left side. This is just too intense of a theme. We'll leave it on Viego's theme for a little bit. Or you know what? We can do Piltover, Legend of Terra theme. I feel like that one's always just the go-to. So yeah, Skarner. His might is not merely that of a colossal monster, but of an ancient sovereign whose authority has shaped a nation for millennia. His power is absolute, rooted in several key domains. So there's the architect of Ishtal. Skarner's mastery of terramancy transcended combat. He is the creator on a civilizational scale. As a revered protector in a single-handedly pulverized a massive rock slide to save the early Ishtal. So there was a rock slide that was about to literally destroy Ishtal. Pretty much there wouldn't be an Ishtal today. And he came up to the surface and protected it. There's others like him. He's just the one that decided that I'm going to come up and protect Ishtal. As a revered protector, he single-handedly pulverized that rock, and his biography states that he used his earthen prowess to help build a cardinal ecology of Ishtal Khan, the very heart of the nation. The cardinal ecologies in Ishtal are like the different elemental magics. These people over here in Ishtal, which let me pull up the page, they're very much like about the different elements, and they have different arcologies. There's like a wind arcology, a stone arcology, a fire arcology. You could see like the esoteric knowledge. The further one travels from the cardinal ecology, the more specialized and prestigious the masteries become. High in the mountains, the mages of this relatively small arcology combine their understanding of fire, rock, and magnetism to draw precious metals from the earth, crafting them into exquisite shapes with the merest gesture. So there's like a bunch of them. Think Avatar. So then there's the continent's watcher. He's still there watching over Ishtal. From a specialized chamber beneath Ishtal Khan, Skarner's power grants him a form of quasi-omniscience. His biography confirms that this chamber was designed to amplify the vibrational threads across the continent. He's able to feel. You can see his chamber here. I think it's at the end, yeah. You can see him inside of his chamber here. This chamber is literally designed to amplify the threads, vibrational threads of Runeterra. So he's able to know everything that's going on. Through the seismic perception, he felt the arrival of the first human settlers, sensed the rising tension of the Shriman Empire, and witnessed the world-altering devastation of the Rune Wars. This makes him an ever-vigilant guardian capable of detecting threats from anywhere on the continent, granting him unparalleled strategic awareness. The problem is, he's a little insane. He's seen so many threats across Runeterra, like the Ruination, that he's starting to feel like Ishtal needs to be isolated and never interact with anyone, ever. That's why you can never get to Ishtal. Even today in Runeterra, Shurima, try to get to Ishtal, the jungle will kill you. Piltover and Zon are always trying to harvest the forests of Kumungu. Ton of them die, literally all the time. That's because Ishtal is literally isolated by magic. Magic forest that will kill you if you get too close. And people, there's one story of like a Noxus group that tries to infiltrate Ishtal. They arrive at the Serpentine Delta and try to go upriver. All of them end up dying, literally by the jungle. Yeah, Ishtal is no joke. It's isolated, and a lot of that has to do with Skarner. He's not like a person. So it's almost like the whole. He's Ishtal itself. The will of the nation. As a founding member of the ruling Yulental class, he founded like basically the government of Ishtal. Skarner possesses immense societal and political power. His authority is not just respected, it is law. He really makes the final decisions. After witnessing the endless corruption and destruction of the outside world, it was Skarner's influence alone that sealed his nation's fate for centuries. He convinced the Yuntao to withdraw from the world, shielding their lands with magic and lies to hide themselves away. So yeah, he really is the reason for Ishtal's isolation. He's got massive size, elemental magic, ancient authority, but a festering paranoia now twists his immense power into a terrifying internal threat. His devotion is absolute, that he would destroy his own people to save them, making him a catastrophic force waiting to be unleashed. As his own history warns, he will do anything to protect Ishtal, even if it means becoming the root of their destruction himself. He lives a long time, so if he feels like Ishtal is going off the deep end, he'll basically kill a bunch of people and let it almost reset. Yeah, he's a big guy, and he's a little bit mad. And I think he's going to be a raid boss. When the Riot MMO comes out, he's definitely going to be a raid boss. He just like lines up so well. His lore came out after the Riot MMO announcement. I feel like all the lore post Riot MMO, definitely they had the Riot MMO in mind. And the global taunt. Yep. Nope. So is Malphite like Skarner? Malphite, the thing about Malphite, he's not like Skarner. Malphite's actually a piece of a colossal like tower that Ishtal created, a magical tower that they used to fight the Void. It was like a Void. I forgot the character. I think, oh, map of Runeterra. I think he's, where is it? Where is it? Zoantha Cascade. Valley of Songs. Trademark Settlement. Ah, I thought I could find it. Maybe not. I remember seeing it. Well, regardless, Ishtal and Shurima were allies during the Void War. Ishtal made a giant floating tower that they used to fight the Void. And it was very averse to, like, it was able to withstand Void corruption. And they basically just floated around and just launched different elementals using all the axiomatas to fight the Void. Eventually, this tower is destroyed. The Void does destroy it, and it crashes. And that Malphite is a piece of that tower that's still alive today. But he came to life after the Void kind of affected the stone. But he's a good guy. I don't think the Void corrupted him in like a bad way. Yeah, that's where Malphite comes from. Same size though. I would think that they're the same. Yeah, it was confirmed as a tower. Yeah, it was like a tower type thing that he's dead now, but it was someone from Ishtal, very known guy who created it. Think like if you guys are all World of Warcraft fans, you know Arthas has like those floating citadels, like created by Ishtal, that they used, and they floated over Icathia and just started raining down missiles. Nazook, yes, Nazook, thank you. Wow, I thought you were a World of Warcraft fan. No, you're not. You are a Runeterra fan. Yes, Nazook, one of the Ishtali Ascended. What the heck? Where'd you come from? Yeah, that's I don't remember the name, but yeah, that's where he's from. Malphite, very big guy. Oh, I'm Entro. Oh, okay, yeah. I'm like, man, you really know. That's so cool though. Yeah, I like Malphite. He's a cool character. I especially like Chip, who's like a piece of him. Chip is like the cutest character in the game. He's my favorite. Chip, Legends of Runeterra. Chip. Look at this. Look at this little guy. Look at this little guy. This is Chip. These are pieces. these are basically pieces of the tower as well. Chip's one of them. And he always calls Malphite. Where's Malphite? Look. Papa!
Hello, little pebble.
I don't know if it's actually Chip is actually a piece of the tower, or if he's just a rock, and he looks at Malphite as like another rock.
Papa! Big as a mountain and...
Twice as strong. Good memory, Chip.
Yeah, I freaking love it. Chip's one of my favorite characters in the game. Okay. Next up we got Rise. A lot of people were like, who's bald in this game? The second Sam, my brother, came in. Rise is very bald. He's a very bald man. While widely considered one of the most adept sorcerers on Runeterra, Rise's true power is defined by the apocalyptic burden he carries. He is the sole guardian against the world runes, artifacts containing the raw magic. Oh, and I'll show you guys a little bit of that. So these are world runes. You can see the Shard of Madness, Shard of Betrayal, Shard of Violence, Shard of Hope, Shard of Reverence. I'll say this, if you count these world runes as Rise's power level, he would be probably number 2 on this list. If not, maybe number 3. But we're talking about Rise's actual power, not the world runes, because that's just a weapon or a tool. So the main thing is like, just think of it as Rise separate from the world runes, is why I ranked him at number 8. But if you include the world runes, he's really powerful. The world runes, artifacts containing the raw magic that shaped creation. Each one powerful enough to unmake the world, which we see during the Rune Wars. Pretty much people use these world runes to fight each other and killed tons of people. There's a better image of that, and I'll show you guys the whole cinematic, so you'll see that. His centuries-long quest is fueled by the horrifying memory of the Rune Wars, where he personally witnessed the unrestrained power. The earth fell away beneath them. The bedrock itself seemed to fetch and swell, while the sky above them recoiled as if mortally wounded. Destruction on a scale so massive that it defied all physical sense. And that's from his biography. Literally, the world was changed because world runes, picture it as magic on a nuclear level. There's magic, right? Everyone's got some magic powers, whatever, but these are nukes. They literally destroyed whole civilizations. Could pull up Rise here. Where you at? Where's Rise? I know Rise is in here. Rise. There he is. Very cool character. To prevent this from ever happening again, Rise has been forced to make impossible choices and pay an unbearable personal price. He has defeated and killed his own master, Tyrus, after he was corrupted by 2 world runes. And you can see that here. It's called the Shard of Betrayal, which all of the shards, the art for them, kind of show the history of Rise. So, Shard of Betrayal. Of all the wrongs Riot has witnessed, let me pull this up here, and I'll make the image big for you guys. You can see Rise as a child, still bald, still very bald. Of all of the wrongs Rise has witnessed in his time on Runeterra, this cut the deepest. How could his own master, who inculcated in Rise the virtues of control and patience, lose himself so fully to the world runes? You could see Rise having to kill his master there. He watched his apprentice, Keegan, be consumed and reborn as the fire entity Brand. His grim calculus was laid bare when he confronted an old friend using a rune to protect his village of 92 people from certain death. Rise's response defines his harrowing purpose. So let me show you Brand. Oh, I had Brand up here. This is Brand. This was Rise's friend who was corrupted by the world runes. So the world runes seem to corrupt everyone that comes in contact with them and turn them pretty evil. Brand wants the world runes to gain more power. And Rise is the most stern, steadfast, skinny good Thanos. Yes, you could say that. He does not mess around when it comes to the world runes. Like, no matter what, like, look at this. He had an old friend using a rune to protect his village of 92 people. By the way, Brand was also under Tyrus. They were both students. But his old friend was using a rune to protect 92 people from certain death. He wanted to use a world rune to protect them. Rise's response was, "How many are in the village?" 92, replied Yago. "And how many are there in the world?" He then killed his friend and left the villagers to their fate, taking the rune to safeguard the billions of lives across Runeterra. That's how steadfast Rise is when it comes to the world runes. He does not take it lightly. I mean, if you wanted to use a world rune to save an entire city and he doesn't care, at this point it's like, what would make him care? And I do have a moment where he does use a world rune. But so taking the rune to safeguard the billions, this mission would be impossible for any lesser mage. But Rise's personal power, augmented by centuries of exposure to raw magic, which is why, he's still a human, but the exposure to raw magic kind of has extended his life dramatically. He has battled those empowered by the runes, clashing with powers the world has not seen in ages, and has always emerged victorious and resolute. Rise is a living lockbox for Armageddon. His true power lies not in the devastating spells he can cast, but the world-ending magic he actively resists and contains every single day. He is lonely walking cataclysm, who through sheer force of will keeps the world from tearing itself apart. And the world rune we're about to see is this one, which is the Shard of Reverence. You can see it here. So the Shard of Reverence, you're going to see it in the cinematic. Lust for power seemed a common trait among the Runeterrans. Even Targon's revered few craved it. And so when they realized that simple flattery could bring them the power of the stars themselves, they didn't hesitate. So he's talking about the Ascended, right? Like that I think he's talking a lot about like Leona, Diana, I mean, I guess Leona in a lot of ways, but Tarek, like a lot of these people who climb to the peak of Mount Targon and become aspectual hosts. Damn, real G, yeah. Honestly, Rise is a G. He doesn't take anything. All right, let's watch this. Call of Power for Rise.
There is a great power in this world. Ancient and forgotten.
So the world runes. This is in Demacia, by the way. That's why the trees are white. They're covered in petricite.
It transformed fields of bare stone into wonders of life and magic.
Sounds pretty good, right?
It carved mountains, drained oceans, and burned skies. It never faded.
You guys hear those leaves? Like, they're so freaking rough, they sound like metal.
It only grew stronger.
There's a world rune.
Hidden away, waiting to be found.
You can see those are people worshipping some kind of stone.
The stronger it grows, the louder it calls.
Here we go. You're about to see his memories.
Others seek to claim this power for strength, balance, control.
I'll explain what just happened.
I was weak then. Naive. So I vowed. Never again.
Yeah. Now we see Rise. That's Misfortune. He works with a couple of people. We see him running around here. Nothing too crazy, except for this. We see Trundle the Troll, which is awesome. Back to the world rune. So now this is another world rune. This is like how he got it. So we kind of like see the beginning. This is after he's obtained the world rune and he's taking it back to like where he stores them. This is before that when he's actually obtaining the world rune, how he got it. Oh, I did want to say this before we get to that. Him saying here, people want it for balance, control. Those are things that he wants it for. That's why he's saying that. Like, he feel like the runes are trying to corrupt him. That kind of power can corrupt anyone. In Rise's case, it's like almost targeting his desire for, control and balance, like to help the world. That's what he sees it as. But, he resists it because it reminds him of the Rune Wars, where he says, I was weak before.
I was weak then. Naive.
He was naive. Now he knows, like, no matter what, it's not worth it. All right. And then we see Rise confronting the World Rune, trying to get it. Now, a lot of people thought that was a Watcher. It's not. That's a Frozen Watcher, which is like a weaker version. Rise is pretty freaking strong, okay? Yeah, he takes the World Rune back.
Many say I hold too much power.
That was a civilization in Noxus that got nuked.
Others say I can't be trusted. Maybe they're right. But the only power I truly have is the strength to let it go.
That's the number one reason why Rise is at spot 8, is because he has the strength to let go of power. If he takes the World Runes, which it looks like he has 4 of them there, then he will like be one of the most powerful champions in Runeterra easily. But because he's got the strength to let it go, we put him at number 8, which is a good thing. We want him to be at number 8. And you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 World Runes, so he's just missing 1. One of them, the Shard of Violence, we talked about Acathia. So you can see that. So for Acathia, the Shard of Violence Rise watch on this mindscape before him constructed itself before him. The Acathians warred with Shurima in a desperate bid for freedom. Rise knew too well what came next, but watched on regardless. Cruel purple tendrils burst out, engulfing the battlefield. Acathia reached for freedom, but in the darkness unleashed the void upon Runeterra. So he's talking about the war between Acathia and Shurima. Like, he could have prevented it, but he chose not to, because he's not going to use a World Rune to stop anything, really. Then there's the Shard of Betrayal. We talked about that. This is the Shard of Madness. The god warriors of Shurima were thought perilous, perfect, but years of war against an unstoppable foe eventually bowed their spirits, then broke them entirely. Zolani and Aatrox turned on each other in a dispute that soon threatened Runeterra's very existence. So that's after the Acathia Void War. The Darken now, like they were ascended, they become Darken and they kind of fight each other because they become corrupted by the Void. Watched all of the trailers for this Nice to Know, the bits. I don't understand. Yeah, I have a hot take. Rise is the main character. Rise, I don't know who's a World of Warcraft fan anymore or not, but Rise is Khadgar. If you know Khadgar from World of Warcraft, that's who Rise is. He is like Khadgar in a lot of ways. The last one is the Shard of Hope. Love, a fog that blinds the wise to reason, and that rids the patient of patience. Rise watched on as the king lowered his beloved beneath the waters and closed his eyes as the screaming began. Rise felt the cold grip of undeath spread through the room, then beyond, all for love. But Rise is carrying Runeterra hard. Yeah, even harder than Khadgar would carry Azeroth. Rise is the only thing that kept Runeterra alive. Runeterra should be toast at this point. Makes sense. Yeah, this big DFK solo a Watcher. Yeah, well, a frozen Watcher, not a real Watcher. So the Watchers are still frozen at the bottom of the Howling Abyss, and I don't think he could solo one of those, because those are like Aurelian soul power level if they ever get out. Battle trolls and resists runes. Yeah, that's true. No, Rise is real strong, but he's still only our number 8 slot. We got to go to number 7. Mordekaiser. Very strong character. A lot of people's favorites. Twice slain and thrice reborn. The Mordekaiser. Very powerful character. Oh, I can pull him up here. I'm bad at spelling. Mordekaiser. There he is. Very cool character. Probably Sam's favorite. If I'm being honest, that's going to be Sam's favorite character in Runeterra. Aren't these like memories of runes? Like many of these predate Rise's birth, Aurelian's soul, Cathia's rebellion, Darken War, etc. Yet another undead world-ending threat. Yeah, but I think Rise can shift through... I think Rise can shift through time in some ways. I think he can. I know Zillion can for sure, but I need to figure out if Rise can or not. Ugly in the wilds. Yeah. Noxian? Yeah, I mean, technically he is Noxian. He is from Noxus. But he is a number 7. And only number 7. Twice slain and twice be born. Mordekaiser is less a being and more a monument to sheer unbreakable will. His power is not a gift or an accident, but a conquest. Upon his first death, the warlord Sanuzal was met not with a glorious afterlife, but with an empty gray oblivion, where lesser souls faded into nothing. As his biography states, Sanuzal refused to fade. Through pure rage and ambition, he held his spirit together against the entropy of the afterlife, eventually mastering its secrets and orchestrating his own return. And you could see that whole thing actually in Sanuzal cinematic. Let me pull it up real quick. Yeah. This is the afterlife right here. You can see Sanuzal. He dies. And after his death, he wakes up in the afterlife. But keep in mind, as a Noxus, he is promised like, oh yeah, why Noxus is behind him? Because he is Noxian. In the Wild Rift, yeah. But yeah, he as Noxians, like especially back in the day, they were promised, you know, like the hall, this great hall, and like a reward upon your death if he lived like this powerful life or whatever, but he ends up in this place.
But there were no gods. No Hall of Bones.
By the way, I have a theory that Mordekaiser is actually just manipulated by a demon called Raum, and that Raum is using Mordekaiser to siphon souls to his realm, which is this realm in the spirit realm, rather than to Kindred and to gain more power. Yeah. They were called Noxi. Yeah, they were. Noxus was the roots in the Black Rose and its history were Morty. That's why, yeah, they were called Noxi. Yeah, a lot of LeBlanc's main thing, her strategy is just like to prevent Mordekaiser from ever returning. Bro, you promised me to explain it. Wild Rift. What did he was half awake though. Ugly in Wilds. He's ugly in Wild Rift? I think Mordekaiser is pretty cool in Wild Rift. What did I promise to explain to you? Because I will explain it. That's what I believe too. Raum is the real player. No, Entro. We the same person? The Raum theory. Oh, I did promise to explain it. Why you believe it? I did promise to explain it. Man, I wish I could stream for freaking longer. Yeah, I did promise to explain it. I'm literally going to add it to the stream schedule, okay, for Monday. It's going to be Monday. The first part, we're going to talk through the whole theory. I'll have it all laid out. I promise you. I'm sorry.
No eternal glory.
This is the afterlife. All these souls fading away. I think that
there was only one truth. I am Sanuzal, the unconquered, and I will forge the kingdom I was denied.
Yeah, he forms the kingdom that he was denied, which is like now his realm in the afterlife, where pretty much if you die near the Immortal Bastion, you go there. Mordekaiser's greatest feat was not returning to life, but conquering death itself. He has subjugated the afterlife, forging it into his personal domain, Mitna Raknun, the Death Realm. There's a ton of Death Realms. There's Vitna Raknun, what is it, like Mol Raknun, something like that. All the Raknuns are different Death Realms. Kindred has one. This is not a place he discovered. It is a dimension he created. As his color story, The Final Reign, describes, where there was nothing, Mordekaiser forged his own reality. He uses the very essence of damned souls as raw material, the building blocks and mortar of his afterworld, making him an absolute god in a realm of his own making. And that realm is going to be a problem for us in the Riot MMO for sure. Wild Rift models are so much nicer looking though they are. I love the Wild Rift models. In his domain, he is supreme, but even in the mortal world, he is a near unstoppable force of necromantic and martial might. He is dismissive of mortal magic, once standing stoically against the torrent of powerful sorcery meant to obliterate him and his prize. He scoffs at those who cannot see and let intellect behind his power, stating, "You mistake brutality for ignorance," which is true. His second lifetime was spent accumulating forbidden knowledge, making him a master of multiple arcane disciplines. Few other beings can claim the mastery of spirit, death, and mortal magic that he holds. That's from his color story, The Final Reign. His iron armor is but a vessel. His soul is anchored to his death realm, making him functionally immortal. His ultimate goal is to merge his kingdom with the living world, claiming dominion over every soul in a final eternal reign. Ancient beings who remember his earlier conquests live in terror of this day, because as his history warns, they know of no way to stop him. Which, by the way, we talked about LeBlanc in the cinematic earlier. We talked about LeBlanc in that deep dive lore. Everything that LeBlanc does is because of Mordekaiser. She literally just wants to prevent Mordekaiser from returning, and if he does return, wants to have the tools on her side to be able to stop him. And a Darkin that you can control is a pretty powerful tool against someone like Mordekaiser, because Darkin are pretty powerful. She's already got Atakan. She may want Tibbers from Anne, which is Talbuk, a demon of fire, which also served Sanuzal at one point. Yeah, Mordekaiser, pretty powerful. LeBlanc is terrified of him. Because I always thought this cinematic was so cool. This is the Wild Rift log from Mordekaiser. This freaking guy. That's him in the death realm of Nitnarak. Yeah, he's freaking, I mean, look at this turn. He's going to be a nice problem for us to deal with in the Riot MMO for sure. All right, next up, Zoe, the aspect of Twilight. This is Zoe. Now, Zoe looks like a child. That's because she is. The aspects really bind with mortal hosts to join the mortal plane. They end up, they can't just come down to the material realm of Runeterra. Let me play this over here. I don't want to play it here because it's too loud. And I have another spot here. Well, it won't be as loud. Yeah, Zoe, playful demeanor is not a mask for her power. It is a terrifying engine that drives it. As the aspect of Twilight, her very purpose is to be an agent of cosmic change. And she is so intrinsically tied to the fabric of existence that her power requires no conscious effort. Her champion page states, her mere presence warps the arcane mathematics governing realities, sometimes causing cataclysms without conscious effort or malice. She is a walking paradox whose childlike whims can rewrite the laws of the universe. Final boss energy for sure. Mordekaiser is definitely going to be like a raid boss. The fundamental concepts of time and space are her playground. Her biography confirms that she can traverse the streams of time with only a thought, and journey to dimensions at the edge of mortal comprehension. From her eternal perspective, the most catastrophic events in Runeterra's history are amusing anecdotes. The apocalyptic reign of Mordekaiser was the time of the Big Armored Meanie. The Ruination was a spooky ghost party, and the world-breaking Rune Wars was simply the War of Sparkly Rocks. War of Sparkly Rocks. Guys, this almost ended the world of Runeterra. The careless attitude extends to her use of force. In her color story, Meet Zoe, she tries to befriend some villagers who attack her out of fear. Her response was not an anger, not one of anger, but of casual, overwhelming annihilation. She summoned a meteor that created an implosion and a secondary explosion which thundered through the guards of their tower, annihilating the area into a fine dust. She wields reality warping abilities with the nonchalance of a child playing with toys, utterly unaware and unconcerned with the consequences. The greatest danger Zoe poses is this unpredictability. After obliterating the tower, she casually mused that the creator she created might lead mortals to a nearby world rune, concluding, It would probably be funny if they did. She's not evil, she's just a being of pure, immoral chaos, whose games could doom civilization. Howdy friends, how the stream going? Hey Straw Hat, what up Luffy? Yeah. So Zoe, number 6. It's time for our boy, Fiddlesticks. Let's actually play this. Fiddlesticks, first of 10. Fiddlesticks, end of men. This is how Fiddlesticks look for those who don't know. He is a demon. Oh, I could have pulled up Zoe here. But it's fine, I showed you guys Zoe. Fiddlesticks. Where is he? Fiddlesticks. Stream's going good. Time for Fiddlesticks, guys. The demon. Fiddlesticks is not just a demon. It is a primal fear, a primal horror, an entity so ancient it predates history, magic, and the very concept of demons. It is a fundamental force of the universe given a crude, terrifying form. Born from the dawn of existence, its biography describes it as the terror of all living things, given life in the first terrible scream of creation, a demon before demons were known. He is fear itself. It is an evil so old that all direct warnings of its existence have decayed into children's fables shared across every culture in Runeterra. Fiddlesticks does not hunt bodies, it hunts fear. It is a psychological predator, drawn to paranoia and terror, which it feeds upon and amplifies until entire communities collapse into madness. Its most terrifying weapon is its voice, a ghastly mimicry that croaks in the stolen voices of the dead, turning familiar sounds into instrumental of psychic torment. As one describer describes the feeling of its mental assault, it is like a pin twisting inside your head, pulling something out of you, something it wanted. We can hear some Fiddlesticks voice lines. Fiddlesticks. I keep going Fiddlesticks because those are how his voice lines are.
Fear. It's hunting us. It knows what we're afraid of.
He's literally repeating lines of like that people said.
Fiddlesticks. Fiddlesticks.
These are lines that he heard people say and he repeats them. Like, and then everyone's line is like, look, Garen and his sister have problems, right? Garen, his sister has magical powers and Demacia, that's not a great thing. And look what he says.
Garen, brother, please don't hate me.
For all of you Arcane fans, you know Jinx has a very like self-defeating mindset where she thinks everything's her fault, right? This was all her fault. She says that a lot.
Jinx, all your fault, all your fault.
See, Fiddlesticks knows a lot about every single champion. To encounter Fiddlesticks is to have one sanity unmade. Its purpose is not to merely kill, but as its champion page states, it is dedicated to shattering the minds of those unlucky enough to survive in its wake. The creature itself is a reality-warping nightmare, a formless evil that builds itself into the shape of our deepest fears. The crows of smoke and fire, the lopsided form, the scraping scythe. These are not what it is, but a reflection of the terror it has found. It is an entity so utterly alien that it defies almost all contemporary knowledge of magic. It cannot be reasoned with or truly fought. It can only be survived. And even if that is a curse, Fiddlesticks is the embodiment of fear itself. And once it knows yours, it never lets go. The name just throws me off. You'd expect something a lot different. Other than Fiddlesticks, that's true. But I love it at this point. I feel like I wouldn't want a different name for Fiddlesticks. Here we go. Terror and Demacia.
A full tankard in a warm tavern was the plan. Not extra watch.
Whole countryside's on edge after Fuss Barrel.
This is Demacia.
Filthy mages. They show up here.
They show up here, and I'll come. Tedric? Hey, Tedric!
Help me! Tedric!
Help me!
So those guys are dead. So great. Next up, Belvith, the Empress of the Void. People might hate me for putting her above Fiddlesticks, but I do believe that she is above Fiddlesticks. Belvith is not a creature of the void, and I think she is, right? Is she? Maybe not. Okay, we can pull up Kaisa for her. Belvith is not a creature of the void. She is the void given singular consciousness and horrifying purpose, a living dimension. She is a ravenous intelligence born from the raw data of an entire devoured city. Her existence represents the end of reality as we know it, and as her champion page states, the beginning of a monstrous reality of her own design. Her mind is her most terrifying attribute. Having absorbed the lives, memories, and histories of countless souls, her biography confirms that Belvith's mind contains millions of years of perfectly preserved knowledge, giving her near omniscience. This translates into an unbeatable strategic advantage. In the time it takes skilled traditions to form a plan, her mind processes hundreds of millions of possibilities in the span of a single second. It's from the Color Story Pinwheel. This unfathomable intellect is backed by an overwhelming physical might. She can shift at will from a humanoid form to a dimension-filling leviathan whose teeth are the size of grown adults. When confronted by a veteran void hunter, Kaisa, Belvith moved so fast she couldn't be processed and proved immune to all harm. Kaisa unleashed her entire arsenal of missiles, energy beams, and cannons upon the Empress. The result was described with 2 words: no effect. Belvith's goal is not simple annihilation, but total assimilation. She seeks to consume all of Runeterra and repurpose it into her own reality, the Lavender Sea, which you can see the lavender. I think there is an image of the Lavender Sea. Yeah. The Lavender Sea is basically Shurima underneath, but like a void-themed version of it. That's what the Lavender Sea is. Literally under Shurima. When asked what she is, she gives a simple, definitive answer that redefines the nature of her entire kind. I am the void. Her ambition is so vast that she intends to consume not only our world, but also her own godlike progenitors, the Watchers. She is an ever-expanding, ever-learning cancer, metastasizing at the heart of reality. To Belvith, her victory is not a goal to be achieved, but as she calmly states, an unshifting absolute. You can see some of her cinematics. This is the promise.
My prophet, your Empress has arrived. Witness your reward. The end of everything.
So the second Belvith comes online, the first time she really forms consciousness, she reaches out to Malzahar, who's like her prophet. He's the first person that helped Belvith really surface and consume an entire city. Imagine a horror game like that. You got to survive against fiddlesticks. That honestly sounds like a great game. It sounds a lot like, is it Outlast? Outlast did a really good job with the running from stuff. Belvith's warning. So this is Vel'Koz. He's loyal to the Watchers.
I am the void. Your Watchers are incapable of understanding. I am the void, and I will remake all of Runeterra.
Yeah, the fact that she's able to do that alone is really impressive. Then there's this, all that will ever be. You can see some of the lavender sea here. That's where they are. And we can see Kaisa confronting Belveth.
What are you? I am everything the void has consumed. And just as I devoured this city, I will devour your world.
Kaisa's a pretty strong character.
I am not somebody's void spawn. I am so much more. I am the end of your world and the beginning of mine.
Yeah. Belveth, another guaranteed, in my opinion, raid boss for the Riot MMO. She's definitely going to be something that we're going to have to deal with. And I think that she'll lead into like a Kathia. She'll be like the pre-person to the Void expansion. She'll be like the expansion before. Now we got Kindred. Kindred are not spirits. Is Kindred? I think they are. Kindred. There they are, the lamb and the wolf. Kindred are not spirits or gods. They are fundamental constants of the universe, the literal personification of death itself. They are not merely powerful. They are inevitable. As their legend describes, they are the white embrace of nothingness and the gnashing of teeth in the dark. Shepherd and the butcher, poet and the primitive. They are one and both. Their authority is absolute and transcends all cultures, borders, and even the power of demigods. From the honorable Demacian who turns to face the lamb's arrow, to the terrifying Noxian pursued by wolf's hunt. Their presence is a shared universal truth. They are an inescapable force of nature. As their biography states this plainly, denying kindred is to deny the natural order of things. Their power is expressed through a simple, brutal duality, a choice offered to all living things at their final moment. Those who accept their end are granted a swift, merciful release from Lamb's silvered bow. Those who flee are subjected to the wolf's exhilarating and violent chase. A hunt from which there is no escape. One cannot truly fight or defeat kindred, only delay the inevitable. Even the wretched souls of the Shadow Isles are not free. Their state of undeath is merely a waking nightmare before kindred inevitably comes to claim them. Their strength isn't measured in destructive capability, but their conceptual finality. Their hunt is eternal, their purpose singular, and it will not cease until all life has ended. As Lamb herself promises Wolf, there will always be more to hunt, until the day there is only kindred. They are the period at the end of every sentence, the silence after the last note is played. Kindred is ultimately and unavoidably the end of all things. If you haven't realized it yet, kindred is death, and the lamb and the wolf are your two options. The lamb is someone who goes peacefully in death. They accept their death and move on to the afterlife. If you choose to fight your death and try to survive, the wolf will hunt you down.
Lamb, tell me a story.
There was once a pale man with dark hair who was very lonely.
Why was it lonely?
All things must meet this man, so they shunned him.
Did he chase them all?
He took an axe and split himself in two.
So he would always have a friend.
So he would always have a friend.
Yeah, Belveth is two halves of death. Hey, Jen. Can't wait to fight Belveth only for us to be allies against the Void in the MMO. I agree. Well, she's kind of Belveth already wants to ally with us against the Void. She says to Kaisa that, you ally with me, help me defeat the Watchers, and then, maybe you guys will survive for a little bit longer. But, Belveth, I don't know. That only makes sense to me that she would ally with us. Actually, I think that's pretty possible. She'll ally with us against the Watchers. We'll deal with them, and then we'll have to deal with Belveth. I like that. Number 2, Bard, the Wandering Caretaker. Sorry I'm rushing a little bit, guys. It's because I only got like 10 minutes left. Not even. Bard is a celestial being whose power... Let me play the Bard theme. Bard is a celestial being whose power is so immense and fundamental that he perceives reality itself not through sight, but a universal song. He is a primordial entity who existed in the silence before creation. For Bard, the wondrous firmament is a symphony of mystic, ambrosial music. He witnessed the forging of the first stars as the first notes in his grand opus, a perspective so vast it is nearly incomprehensible. A mortal who was briefly granted this cosmic awareness described it in awe. Bard opened up the cosmos wide to me. I felt beginning, end, and in between. No human witness had there ever been, but I alone did hear the act take form. Bard's purpose is to maintain the harmony of this symphony. He was drawn to Runeterra because its chaotic, powerful magic had become a dangerous dissonance, threatening to damage the entire composition of the universe. He acts as a cosmic caretaker, retrieving anything out of place and returning it to where it can do no further harm. To mortals, his actions, like taking a village-cherished artifact, may seem random or cruel, but he is operating on a scale that prioritizes the safety of all existence over the wants of a few. The scale of the threats he manages is a direct measure of his power. He intervenes only when faced with reality-ending dangers, such as the misuse of the World Rune or the silence threatening by the Void, which is described in the lore as a gaping maw, an empty soundless pit devoid of light, that seeks to end the song of creation. Bard operates on a plane of existence far beyond the comprehension of most beings, manipulating time, space, and cosmic energy to preserve the harmony of all that is. His power is not measured by the battles he wins, but by the universe-ending apocalypse that never happens because of his silent, wandering care. He is the guardian of the music of creation itself. So yeah, Bard is basically the only thing stopping us from... Thanks for the follow, Zach. Your stream is so fun to watch. Really enjoying the vibe and the content. Sounds good. Thanks. All right, Bard cinematic. You can see Bard here. Bunch of violence going on. Bard flies in. He was gonna use that stone to like save them. He's like, they'll die without him. But Bard has to protect the balance. Not some random people. That's during the Noxian invasion of Ionia. Those are meeps. Freaking love meeps. Noxians cannot get their hands on that. And so Bard takes it away. Yeah. Bard, very powerful. Standing between the Void and us. And the final one, the final and most powerful champion in all of Runeterra, is Aurelian Soul. With literally no time left for me. But let me just do it. At an absolute apex of the power hierarchy sits Aurelian Soul. He is not God or a demon. He is a primordial cosmic entity born in the first breath of creation. Those various purpose is to fill the void of space with celestial wonders. The universe itself is his canvas and galaxies are his brushstrokes. From his perspective, Runeterra and its inhabitants are utterly insignificant. In his own words, their grandest civilizations are savages, their endless wars are tediously similar, and their gods are beneath his notice. Even the mighty aspects of Targon who enslaved him are in his eyes dispassionate and incurious things contributing little to existence. He operates on a scale where planetary affairs are trivialities. His power is that of creation on an astrophysical scale. He forges stars, describing each as a unique masterpiece, like cosmic snowflakes burned in defiance of an infinite dark. While bound by a magical Targonian crown that leeches his power, a brief moment of defiance offered a glimpse of his truly terrifying might. Tasked with stealing a void rift, he unleashed a fraction of his power by creating a new star in Runeterra's atmosphere and detonating it. The effect was apocalyptic. Trees splinter, rivers evaporate, the mountain walls of the valley crumble. Across this pitiful globe, my radiance turns darkest night to blinding day. In that single act, he permanently scarred the planet, annihilating a god warrior pantheon. This was the old pantheon, not the one in game, the one before him. He did kill him, and demonstrated a level of power that is simply incomprehensible to mortal beings. The price of this brief display of freedom was the forced destruction of one of his distant stars, a testament to the cosmic scale of the magic required to simply punish him. His only limitation is the crown, and its magic is fading. The cosmic beings who tricked and bound him, who once commanded him, now feel a new emotion as they sense his growing freedom. As Aurelian Sol himself notes, that emotion is fear. He is the power of creation itself, and when he is finally unbound, the universe will be his to command or unmake. And you could see, so let's play this from the beginning really quick.
Before me, existence was empty, barren. By my will, I filled it with wonder. Mortals strive to construct their own adorably inadequate marvels. But true power is only found in the...
These are flecks of his crown falling, by the way. And if we ever see this, that's probably the end of Runeterra. If his crown ever weakens and shatters, he's coming for Runeterra. He doesn't really like us.
Cosmos.
And then at the end, you can see him here, behind the mountain of Targon, and you can see the crack.
Targon? Losing your grip.
So the crown is already weakened, and he's able to get closer to Runeterra. The crown keeps him from getting close to Runeterra. And I do have an honorable mention to Zillion, but I won't have time to get into it because I do have to drop because I have work and I have a meeting right now. So thanks all, and I will see you guys in the next one.